Interest rates continue to go up, and some of you out there say you want to wait for the housing market to crash. I'm going to give you the reason why not to today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Estate Daily with the House Heroes. My name is Troy, and every day, Monday through Saturday, we go over the latest news in real estate, housing market, and mortgages. Now, before we jump into everything and that hot article, let's go hit that subscribe button, baby, and then do me a favor. We want to get as many people to see this. We're growing like crazy. Hit that like button if you like the content. Otherwise, if you have a comment, please leave it below. Also, if you want to check us out on the other social media platforms, we do quite a lot of posting. Go check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, just to name a few. You can go and see tips and tricks about homes and even other data information about the housing market. Let's jump right into it. Now, a lot of you out there are saying, hey, I want to wait on the sidelines. I'm going to hold off before I buy a house. Why? Well, the housing market looks like it's going to crash. Interest rates are going up. People are kind of stalling out. That can be the truth, but let's go over the real strategy that you need to have to make sure you're making the best decision for you and your family. Let's take a look at this. This is the Fed. This is actually a Federal Reserve chart going over interest rates since the 1970s. Now, if you look at the far end, it's 2022. We're at 6.5%. We're right around 6.5%. We are at the same level, if we back it all out, to about 2008, 2007. What happened in 2007 and 2008? Well, we had a housing crash, the greatest housing crash, of all time. Why? Because mortgages were so cheap. They did interest only. They did partial interest only, option arms. It wasn't the time to get in because the mortgage market was cheap. Money was so cheap because the way those particular mortgage programs worked out that you can get in no problem. Also, there was a lot of liar loans out there, and the liars weren't so much the buyers, the liars were the mortgage brokers and the mortgage originators. That's why it changed the rules. The federal government changed all the rules right after because everybody would lie about their loans and the federal government were backing them. But if you really take a look at this chart, it really then shows that prior to 2008 and the housing crash, where were interest rates? Okay, we've been so spoiled because of the Fed's misguidance of having, producing so much money into the market and buying up mortgage-backed securities that it's caused interest rates to go down so far, and they kept them so long, so far, that everyone's like, I want a 2%, I want 2%. But let's go look back. Look, this is the last over 50 years. Where's 2% been? 2%'s been in the last 4 years, and that's nowhere ever since. Now, where have your parents been? If you're an AARPer like me, don't laugh at me. And I have it for a reason, to make fun of us. Make fun of me, really. But if you look back, what are you seeing here? Okay, rates at 2000 was at 7%. Rates in 1990s were between 8 and 10%. Rates in the 90s, the 80s were all above 10%. But what happened? People bought homes, and they bought homes in groves. Okay, it wasn't that they all suddenly stopped and then the world got flooded in back in 2020. No, they were buying homes then. Why? Because they were affordable and the interest rate wasn't that bad. Even though you look at it and you're freaking out right now, interest rates aren't that bad. How are we seeing the housing market today? If I have an approval letter in my hand today, I'm telling you as Joe public buyer, you need to go out and buy a home. If you're not buying a home, you're not planning for, family wealth. That's number one. But more importantly, where is the market going to go? Let's take an in-depth look. Look at this chart. If I look above, if you see 2008, it was at what, 7%, right around there. And then immediately for the next 4 years, it goes down. Why? because loan programs were not available for buyers to buy homes. I will say that over and over again. I know some of you out there aren't believing what I'm saying, but those loan programs weren't available, or they made it almost impossible to qualify. I know that, one of our business partners, Minwin at Whatsamortgage, on the Whatsamortgage channel, go check him out. We'll put his Instagram and below in here, this link to his Instagram, Whatsamortgage. But more importantly, he was one of my mortgage lenders for many, many years, for probably 5 years. And he said it over and over. I couldn't get loans done. They were so tough. Why? Because lenders didn't want to loan out money because of all the people that were defaulting prior. So it scared the entire market. Guess what, guys? We're going to go into that same market. If inflation continues to go up, what's going to happen? Interest rates continue to go up. And there'll be a certain point where lenders will make it so hard to qualify for loans because the risk factor is so high, they're not going to lend out to hardly anybody. And I make this point, and I need to make it clear to a lot of people out there that are saying, "Oh, by fourth quarter of 2022 or the first quarter of 2023, guys, there's no guarantee you're even going to qualify for a loan at that point. None, zero, zilch." Okay, and we're still scraping the bottom at record low inventory rates. You know what? If home prices drop, there's a new boy on the block, the new shiny guy that's going to come in. It is hedge funds. They will stop buying it up because they know that if they can buy at a discount, they're going to rent them out to you, and you're going to pay top dollar every time. You think about this. When's the last time rents went down versus when's the last time the market went down? Rents haven't gone down, okay? But prices have gone down at certain points, and they will kind of float down, I think, in the next 6 months. But guess what? They're doing it because interest rates are going up, not because we're just waiting for you to go buy a house. That's not the issue. Take heed of what I'm saying, because if you're a renter out there, you're going to get slaughtered and beat up. I will tell you right now, apartments.com is probably the most reliable information on where rents are at, and they're showing double-digit growth year over year. Okay? Think about that. Next year, what's going to happen? If you're going to have more rent raises out there in the market, and you're going to have more people wanting to rent because there's more and more, the population continues to grow. Keep that in mind. Heed my warning. Let's go to the next one. Next article. Home purchase cancellations are above 15% for the second straight month. They're above 15%. They actually went down. I know I really hate looking at these because it's the way that each media spins their stuff, but it says it's important to know the financial repercussions. I'm telling you now, I'm hoping that the majority of the 15% are because sellers are unrealistic and won't give in to buyers' repair requests and won't give in to buyers' appraisals that are coming in less. I think that are the reasons why, because the market has shifted and stalled a little bit. So sellers who had 2 or 3 years of having all the leverage now don't have as much leverage, and they're realizing that, hey, now we're starting to see the repercussions of us not giving in, thinking I can throw my house back on the market and throwing our house back on the market and selling it for at least the same amount. Not very good decisions. I know that part of that 15% is one of my clients. And I know that they were, and I'll go over, it's Erica and Violet. I know that we saw a property, we got under contract with that property, and it had quite a lot of issues with that property. Now, when I had talked to the agent, they felt that the seller was not willing to do any of the work. Why? This was a transition market, and sometimes you're not being told the proper things when you're talking to an agent, especially a listing agent. They just want you to keep it out in the market. They're not giving you the information that you need to make quality decisions. Well, with the story of Erica, Eric, excuse me, and Violetta, is that we went out, found another home that was $10,000 more. That was their dream home. I went to a house they were just trying to get into. Now I'm going to their dream home, and we locked that up. So a couple weeks into us being in the escrow on their dream home, the other property, which we walked away from escrow, called me up and said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and do all the repairs, bring your clients back. It's too late. You made a decision too late. That seller made that decision. That part of that 15% is because, in my eyes, that those are unrealistic sellers still thinking that the other market is still here. The market for the last 3 years. It's not. They have to understand it's a give and take now. We're in some areas, it's a buyer's market. In very few areas, it's a seller's market. So I think this is the reason why we're seeing these numbers. Next article. This is a tragic article. Orange County Register. It says 1,261 more rental vouchers coming to low-income Southern California renters. What's happened is that if you get on Section 8, there's only so many vouchers that are given out per county, right? There's a limit, and a lot of counties are not even taking any more applications since they're so overwhelmed. Well, let's go over the story of Orange County. Orange County has 3,000 vouchers, okay? Well, guess what? There's 20,000 applicants for 3,000 vouchers. Let me go read a couple of lines here. I'm gonna scroll down right here. It says that the federal government says Biden administration is allocating $20.2 million to provide additional 1,261 Section 8 rental vouchers for low-income tenants in Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino counties. Well, Orange County only got 38 of them, and there is literally thousands. And it says the city received more than 20,700 applications when it reopened its waiting list last May for the first time in 7 years. I need people to consider this. It says there was a lottery used to trim the number to 7,500. So you went from 20,700, you trimmed it to 7,500, okay? And it says that that's how they came up with the 3,000 people on this list, 3,025. Well, they received an additional 28 more, vouchers for section 38 additional slots, 38 more to pick up for 7,500 or probably 4,000 more people, 4,500 more people. Guys, this is no joke. Homeless in Southern California is terrible. Okay, it's terrible. Now I know when we're looking at just the political landscape that we're in, the homeless aren't voters, so they don't get any love at all. There's no putting time and effort into them. They're just become a nuisance to the city, the county, as well as the state. With that being said, this is where we should be allocating money towards. Section 8. Section 8 gets people off the streets and into a house, and it's very important. We don't need to go overtax our people and then hand overtaxed money like the governor is already going to do right before the election to buy votes. He doesn't care about the homeless. He only cares about votes. If it's not voting related, he's not going to deal with it. That's the bottom line here. We should be taking that money and allocate it towards Section 8, where it actually helps housing people and getting people off the streets, and it gets them back where they feel respected inside. So that's my high horse. I'm getting off that soapbox. Let's go on to let's go to the next one after this. We don't need to see this one. All right. I need to change a little bit of attitude here. Let's have some fun, which this isn't fun. This is a 3-floor penthouse for sale for $250 million in New York City. Is that ridiculous? I mean, look at the view. It's like the World Trade Center. It is fantastic view. 3 floors, only $250 million. I can't wait for the first $1 billion property to pop up in Manhattan, in New York City. It's just going to be ridiculous. $250 million. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. That's the fluff for the day. Let's go to the interest rates. We just saw them just go completely nuts on Friday. The conforming conventional went up 11 basis points. Now we're at 6.5. FHA all the way over To the side here, 30-year, that went up 7 basis points to 6.22. Guys, there is very little reasoning that we wouldn't think that interest rates would fall. I'm thinking they're going to continue to go up. The Fed has made a point that they're going to continue to raise rates until they can get the inflation down. But I'm having a feeling that since we are out of strategic reserves, that now we're going to be buying oil from the real oil, real oil out there from other countries since we cut our pipeline down. And we're going to see gas prices spike again, and they're going to hurt us. And this is some of the and housing will just stall, but we're still trying to catch up on the rental or the shelter. That's part of the CPI. The biggest part of CPI is shelter, and the next part is food, and then it's fuel. Fuel's going up. Housing is it's not housing, it's shelter. Rents are going up. Food's going up. Guys, this isn't good. We're going to see the Fed keep raising. I think we're going to keep seeing interest rates keep going up. That's just my opinion. So thank you everyone out there for joining me. I went a little over on this one. I tried to make everything way within 10 minutes, but I kind of wanted to go over a few big points that I wanted today. Very, very interesting. You listen to national media, they'll scare you away into becoming a renter. Think about that. That's their job, is to scare you to maintain rents out there for landlords and people of wealth. You guys have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.